Okay, so we've sanded this now with 400, 600, 800, up to 1,000. So this is now ready for some rubbing compound to be buffed in and wax. We're not going to start that yet because we still have more to do. So let's go ahead and get on these. We're going to start over right from the beginning. So we'll be starting out with some 320 and work our way up. All right, so we've gone through, let's say, up to 1,000 as far as sand and all this stuff goes. And we got 1,500. We're going to hit that. And then we're going to let this whole thing dry and see if we can buff it out. So let's get to the 1,500. All right, so it's the next day, and I just wanted to show you. I don't know how well you can pick it up, but the shine that you see is just from the 1500 sandpaper. Okay, so this hasn't been buffed out at all. Now, the reason when you're looking at this, you're only seeing a little bit of shine, maybe 6 inches of shine. When we put the sides on and we put the rub rail on the other side of the side, we're going to tape off a gutter. So that's why we only worried about polishing maybe that 6 inches. So let's get some rubbing compound on this, and we will start to buff this out. Now I did end up with a couple spots. I don't know how well you can see this one right here. This one you're not going to see because there's a wall that's going to go here. But there's a couple spots that almost burned through. I think there's only 2 on the seat, so that's good. I'm getting better at it. But the next thing now, this is a 1,000. It's pretty smooth. I've actually felt boats that didn't feel as smooth. Done by professionals. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get some rubbing compound on here and then buff this out, and then we'll go ahead and get some wax on here. What we'll probably end up doing later on is we'll come back and maybe a spot like this right here, we'll get the wax off it and just go ahead and touch it up a little bit and see if we can't blend it in. If nothing else, it's good practice on blending. So that's all I do is practice. Like a doctor, I practice. Let's go ahead and get the rubbing compound out. Now, with this rubbing compound, we want to make sure we shake it up really well because everything kind of settles down to the bottom. This is a liquid rubbing compound. You can use paste. This is what I had laying around, so that's what we're using. This is for gel coat. It's supposed to remove the heavy oxidation, which is essentially what we have here. Now, we're going to wait for this to haze up, and then we'll come back with the buffer and buff it all out. Now, I know some of you are thinking, did he say he's going to go back and do some touch-ups on these? Why are you buffing it and waxing it now? And in an ideal world, that'd probably be correct. I really wouldn't want to get any wax anywhere near this boat until I had everything painted or gel coat. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I'm not working in the ideal world here. I'm working outside. Sometimes, I get to work on the boat a couple days in a row. Sometimes it's a week before I get back out here. Sometimes it's a month. My concern is that I have this very porous gel coat that's ready for wax, and if I don't wax it, I'm going to start to get mold and dirt creeping back into those pores. So I want to go ahead and get those pores filled in and at least know that the good part is protected. I can deal with those small parts later on. We're only talking about very small areas. I can come in here with some first I'll hit it with some not Clorox. I'll hit it with some Comet. That tends to take out all your wax. Clean it up with some acetone, and then I'll be able to go ahead and take care of the touch-ups. So that's the plan. Who knows if it'll work? Stay tuned and we'll find out. We're going to let this haze up and come back and buff it out. All right, so we got a shine on most of this now, which is good and bad, because once you start to get this thing polished up, you can really see your imperfections. I don't know if you can pick this up with the camera, but there's a couple holes right here down the bottom. I just needed to spend a little more time with the sandpaper. So there's things like that. This right here is another burn through, so I think I have I got about 4 or 5 total left, which isn't bad considering when I first started. Jeez, I probably had 4 or 5 on that first seat we did. The other thing, if you can pick up, you can see that, you know, there's some holes. And again, that's, yeah, I attribute that to 2 things. One thing is I never hit this stuff with a longboard. I didn't see the importance at the time. I do now, because it makes everything nice and smooth. And when you're sanding, it doesn't leave any low spots, any depressions. So that's one of the things that we're battling with now. As we look around, we can see high spots and low spots. There's like a little high spot right here. I think there's a low spot in here too. Now, as far as what are we going to do about that? Well, we got these sides, and actually here's one of the sides right here. This is the side that's going to come right up. So this is all going to be blocked probably to about here. So you're not even going to be able to see this side. You're not going to be able to see the backs. There's going to be a gate right here, and that gate's going to come up, and yeah, it's going to block most of this door. It's going to block part of this. It's going to block this corner right here, where I needed to spend a little more time with the sandpaper right here. So that's going to be covered. We weren't worried about that because we knew about that. Those are where our hatches go. Now you can see, you know, it's painted here, but it's not painted here. Where it's not painted right now is going to be no skid. So that's going to hopefully be the easiest thing to do, because we're not going to have to worry about the finish. Final finish will be sand. So, but that's where we're at right now. So like I said, we do have a few we got a few burns we got to fix. I think there's 1 or 2 in the front seat, and there's 1 on the console, and there's, I believe, 2 on the back seat. So we got to get those done. We got a few touch-ups on the hull we still have to paint. That one right there. So we got to get that thing cleaned up and get that painted. So we're going to have to break out the gel coat anyway. For that. Up here, considering how good this looked and how bad it looks now, you know, when you look down it, you can see all the spot. This is from like repair did that. So it wasn't very good repair. So I may come over and I may hit this with some sandpaper. Yeah, a lot, because it's high. I can feel it's a little high. So I can clean that up with some sandpaper. That edge on the console needs to be cleaned up a little more. But it's getting there. At least now I don't have to worry about dirt getting into it and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of a few touch-ups I got to do, and I can do them or not do them. This is going to be a work boat. It's not going to be a show boat. So it's just going to depend on how far I want to take it. So that's it for now. We'll see you next time.